Hello everybody, welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft. Pretty spicy pack to start. We could just send Emrakul. Not typically my strategy, but it is a good build around, and there's a decent number of things that it works with. There's also Strip Mine, which is a card that you can build around or just play in a normal deck. Karn is very good, especially if you get it early and you can pick up some artifact mana. Exhume is a good card, not one I typically like to first pick, but it's good. There's Prismatic Vista, but I think I would take the Strip Mine over the Vista. And then there's Dak Faden, which I really like. Back in the day, I would have definitely taken Dak Faden. It is two colors, but I really like blue-red. I think that's a powerful color combination. Sets you up well for combo decks or for more mid-range decks, and then the -2 is the best ability. It's not actually good against this pack, but there's tons of powerful artifacts in the format, and I think I will take it. There's kind of a judgment call. I think Strip Mine, there's definitely an argument that Strip Mine is the better first pick, but I really like Dak Faden. I think it's powerful. It's good, like a pretty easy one to build around. Okay, so there's Echo of Eons. That's interesting. It's good with Dak Faden and sets us up well. Like so if it could be like some sort of blue-red draw 7s deck and have like Hull Breacher, that's very good with Dak Faden. Fire Covenant is good in terms of just raw power level. There's Xander's Lounge and then a couple good black cards, but I think I like taking the Echo here to follow up the Dak. Yeah, we'll try it out. It's obviously very powerful if you can discard it. Ooh, okay. Third pick Ragavan, love that. Consider, Brainstorm, and Force of Will are all good blue cards, and then there's also Flage, which plays really well with Dak Faden, but definitely going to take the third pick Ragavan. That is a truly beautiful sight to see. We'll take that, and then hopefully one of these three blue cards comes around. I think there's a chance we get like a late Brainstorm. Okay, I'll just take the Fiery Islet here. Serum Visions would be great. Very powerful card. There's also Arc Trail, which is not the best, but it's not bad. But I think Fiery Islet is the correct pick. We really want to have a critical mass of red sources on turn 1 for the Ragavan. This card's good, but it's not broken. It just adds consistency, and I think this is a spot to go for like the consistency of turn 1 Ragavan over the consistency of like finding your land drops. Ooh, okay. Got a little 5th pick Narset, good with Dak Faden and with Echo. Of course, this is a classic combo, but then with Dak, you can actually target your opponent. They get to draw 1, but then they discard 2, which is usually a good exchange. Odawar is pretty nice as well, but that's a great card to see. 5th pick Narset. Alright, I think it's Rogran Triumph here. Probe is good. There's also Lelia, which is just a very powerful card. And there's a chance that is actually the right pick. Doesn't particularly go well with like the Narset Echo plan though. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the Triome. It is notably not a untapped red source for turn 1 Ragavan, but it's still just a really good card to have access to. And we might also splash white. Now, in fact, we do see a Tundra. But with that being said, I'm gonna take a Spell Pierce. Good card. Cheap interaction is at a premium for sure. There's definitely a chance we end up playing white, but I don't think we desperately need this Tundra. I would take it probably over like one of these red cards, which are only okay, but Spell Pierce is a really premium interactive card. And we followed up with another one in Chain Lightning. Brazen Borrower is good, so is Squee with Dak specifically, but Chain Lightning is even better. 1 mana removal spell, that's perfect. Yeah, that does exactly what this deck wants to be doing. This is a great start. I love blue-red. We'll see how in on this sort of... There's a few ways we could go. One is like a hard control deck. One is sort of a combo deck based on if we get like Hull Breacher on that sort of thing. And then the third is like some sort of more semi-aggressive tempo deck, passing Lelia. Like in that build, we wouldn't want Narset Echo. We would want Lelia, Brazen Borrower, and we did pass those cards. So that's probably less likely, but we'll see what comes around. Interesting. So I think it's actually a pretty easy Brain Freeze here. Reprieve and Portable Hole would be solid if we're playing white. Also, really late Exhume. There's even an argument we're supposed to take that, but I think the Brain Freeze is the right pick. It's not going to go in any deck, but if we find Underworld Breach, this is a really, really strong combo. And also, in some matchups, this can just be good. Like, on turn 8, if you just go, like, Chain Lightning your thing, Spell Pierce, they counter back, Brain Freeze, like, you can win the game pretty easily that way. Okay, now we see Xander's Lounge. Some pretty good white cards, but I think we're unlikely to be splashing white. Master of Death is okay, but I'll just take the Xander's Lounge. It is another tapped land, which I don't love, but that's okay. This was our first pack, which had all of the blue stuff, and all 3 cards got taken. Don't love that, but I do like getting a late Magda. It's obviously much worse than Ragavan, but it does a sort of similar thing, and it's good if you can protect it with stuff like Spell Pierce. Alright, Arc Trail, nice. Death Greeter's Champion, not a card I'm thrilled with. I'll take it, but I'm probably not going to play it in the main deck. This also right now doesn't make the main deck, but if we can get there on the Underworld Breach, that would be great. Okay, I'll take Infernal Grasp and not play it. Sort of funny to have two triomes. I don't love that, but still, this is a very strong pack one. So going into pack two, what are we looking for? On like blue or red Mox would be great. I think this is a deck that would prefer Mox to Black Lotus. It would also be really nice to find something that combos with our Echo Vions, like a Hole Breacher. We don't see any of that. Not the best pack for us. It might just be Burst Lightning. It's not an exciting card to first pick. Charter Course is solid, but Burst Lightning is really good. And we only have one mana burn spell right now. There's no chance it comes around. We're not going to wheel anything from this pack, unfortunately, because Charter Course will be taken. Like, maybe we wheel Anger and don't play it. I guess we could... A lot of good black stuff. We might end up going towards black. There is Yawgmoth's Will, but that's not as good with Brain Freeze. I mean, it's not bad, but Underworld Breach is much better. But yeah, I think Burst Lightning is the right pick here. Okay, probably just going to take a fetch now. There is Sail into the West, but that's not as good with Narset because it's not forcing. It doesn't take out their hand. Duelist of the Mind is pretty good with Echo Vions, but I think it's just a pretty easy Bloodstained Mire still. It is an untapped red source on turn 1. It can get blue mana. Just sort of does exactly what we're looking for. Holy moly. Alright, there's a Time Spiral and a Timetwister. I'm going to take the Timetwister. This is just 6 mana, which is a lot. Like, I don't even know if High Tide's in the format anymore. Like, there are some ways, there's situations where this can be better, but pretty easy Timetwister. I don't think it's likely that this comes around. That would be awesome, but doubtful. There is a Braid. Notable that right now we only have one thing that punishes draw 7s, but we could get more. Also, now that we have 2, I'm pretty interested in a potential Black Splash, because that would open up Orcish Bowmasters and Shieldred. But either way, I will take the Timetwister here. Okay, now I think it's a pretty easy Memory Lapse. I do like Teferi, but I'm more likely to just beat Grixis, given the possibility, like the draw 7 stuff. But the Memory Lapse is definitely the pick. Very good, cheap interactive spell. Exactly the sort of thing this deck wants. Now we see Delayed Blast Fireball, Thought Scour, and Daze. All of which are pretty good. So Daze is better if we're trying to like curve out. Like it's better with like if we're protecting Magda and Ragavan. I don't think we're likely to wheel either of the blue cards if we take the Delayed Blast Fireball. This would be a great card. We have 3 cheap burn spells. I definitely want more, and this is really good in a lot of matchups. But I think Daze just looks really good, specifically with like Ragavan, Magda, even like the draw 7 stuff. Protecting that is pretty important. Yeah, let's take the Daze. Thought Scour, we didn't wheel the Flage. It could mill over with Echo Vions, which is pretty good, but right now that's our... I guess it's also good with if we end up finding Underworld Breach, but I'm going to still take the Daze. Ooh, nice. Love getting a late Steam Vents. That makes this Bloodstained Mire much better. We might end up... We could potentially wheel this and play it. That would be kind of interesting, but definitely taking Steam Vents. That's a phenomenal late pickup. Okay, so there's a couple lands that would help with a white splash, but I think we're a decent amount more likely to do a black splash. We're not interested in this Pyro Surfer, so I'll take the Creeping Tar Pit. Not going to play it right now, but yeah, if we see Bowmaster specifically, that would definitely push us in that direction. Now we see Seasoned Pyromancer, but I think it's just Spire Bluff Canal. As good as this card is, and it is really, really good, I think this is just like so perfect. We really want fixing. I guess there is a chance we don't get enough playables, but I think we should be able to. And that's just like a perfect untapped turn 1 land. Okay. Anger, not a card I'm interested in. It's Kaito or Valky, and honestly, yeah, I'll take the Kaito. Not going to splash black just for that, but Infernal Grasp would be a nice card to splash as well. We currently have a few free black sources, and now there's Gut, Duelist of the Mind, and Baleful Strix. So I think we actually do just take this and move in on black. 3 sources right now. That's not a great, but I think it is the pick. This is not a good deck for Gut. This card's broken, but this is a pretty poor deck for it. Rafine's Tower, not that great. Yeah, let's take the Strix. Really good pickup. We wheel 2 black lands. That's great. Bitter Reunion would be okay as well, but I'm going to take Blackleaf Cliffs. I'm biased towards early red sources because of how important Ragavan on turn 1 is. Although it's too bad they're in the same pack. I would love to get Dark Slick Shores in the next pack. Yeah, these black cards are good. I'll splash black even if we don't get the Bowmasters now, but still, Bowmasters is almost on par with a Mox for this deck now. Ooh, Cut Down versus Dress Down. Kind of funny that they both bring things down a notch. I don't think not either of the other two. Cut Down is maybe better. I guess I'll take the cut down. Well, actually no, I'll take the dress down. It's close. Cut down is maybe going to be hard to cast on turn 1. Dress down is probably higher variance. It doesn't always do stuff, but it can be incredible. We'll take this, and if we play Breach, we could get there. But this is very, very good against construct tokens like Urza Saga, Karn stuff. It's really good against end of the battlefield effects like Atraxa. It doesn't work with any of our own creatures. Like, there are some situations where you go like, play dress down, untap, play Uro, and it just sticks in play as a 6/6. We don't have anything like that, but still, pretty solid card to have access to. We'll see if it makes the main deck. It's also really good if we get some Delirium type stuff. So if we get Dragon's Rage Channeler or Unholy Heat or Nethergoyf, then having a playable cantripping enchantment is pretty valuable. This Rogran Triumph is a possibility just as a tapped blue-red land, but don't love it. I would prefer not to have to play that. Ooh, okay, a lot of good cards here. And based on power level, Urza Saga is probably the best, but it's not really a card I want to be taking. I mean, yeah, we just don't have artifacts for it. Mana Vault, not looking great with this deck. Firebolt, I don't think Arena of Glory is great either. It doesn't play Ragavan on turn 1. Firebolt's great. Dictor Time would be really good here, I think. And then Counterspells, of course, great. But I think I'm still just going to take the Volcanic Island. I value fixing so highly. Yeah, this is the perfect land. There are cards I would take over Volcanic Island. Like maybe Ponder, maybe Lightning Bolt. Certainly like Ancestral Recall or something. But this is one of the better cards we could find. I would like to find more black sources, though. I mean, right now we have 4. We'd probably play like 1 basic Swamp, and 5 is okay. None of these black cards... Well, I guess Kaito is kind of one you want to play on curve. These 2 are not necessary to play on turn 2, usually. Okay. The most powerful card here is Swords to Plowshares. I do like Kolaghan's Command a lot. There's also Subtlety, which would be really good. Which one of those 2 would be better? We're not going to wheel either. Someone took Fire Covenant, and whoever took that will definitely take the Kolaghan's Command. I think this is a little bit better than Subtlety. What pushes me over the top is that it's something to find off of Narset, but really good card. It's our first way to deal with artifacts. We did already pass both Abrade and Embereth Shieldbreaker, and then it's just like a really powerful card. We're not really a Talisman deck. We'd maybe play it, but yeah, pretty happy to see Kolaghan's Command here. Still praying for the Orcish Bowmasters or Hullbreacher or Shieldred. Like, right now we only have 1 draw 7 Punisher in Narset. So the draw 7 plan isn't even that good yet. Okay. Couple lands that don't help us. We could take Lion's Eye Diamond if we want to try to get there on the Brain Freeze thing. But it's also good with Echo of Eons and Timetwister. And, like, maybe Narset. The alternative is just take, like, a solid card, like, Stern Scolding, or even Detective's Phoenix could be good here, although we're kind of creature light. Oh, man. I want to take Lion's Eye Diamond. Like, it's so good with Echo. It's good with Timetwister. And then it, like, completely wins the game. Like, it means Brain Freeze is just, like, a 1-card win if you have the Breach. It just also will probably wheel, though. Close pick. I think I'm not going to take this, though. I'm going to hope it wheels. I'm going to take Stern Scolding. Just another 1-mana interactive spell. Okay, Force of Negation, Thundering Falls, and Fabled Passage, all really good, but I think I like taking the Falls. It is a tapped land for turn 1 Ragavan, which is bad, but I like letting this have the ability to scry. Fabled Passage can also get a black source if we end up doing that, but I think Surveil 1 is pretty nice. Okay, Thassa's Oracle, not a card that we're too interested in. It could get there with the Brain Freeze, but instead, there's also Jace, which is pretty good. But let's take the Badlands. Good card. It's a nice thing to fetch off of Bloodstained Mire. We might be able to get to the point where we don't have to play a basic Swamp. And then there's a chance we can wheel one of these cards, especially if there's a blue-black Doomsday player. They might have to take the Oracle, and we could wheel the Watery Grave or something. But I'll take the Badlands. Okay, there's Jace. That's kind of funny. But Psychic Frog is kind of perfect here. Very good with Echo of Eons, and also just a good threat, especially if we back it up with Spell Pierce and stuff like that. This card can definitely take over a game. It also gives us a way to use the graveyard. Underground Sea, nice. True Nemesis is okay, but I'll take the Sea, and now Map Fixing is officially good. We do need a few more spells, but I'm not really worried about that. Ooh, okay. Teferi's great, but not what this deck needs. Fallen Shinobi, good with the Frog, and very good with Strix, but we're a little light on things for that, so I'm really looking at Bone Crusher versus Flame Slash. And this deck is a little light on win conditions, so I think I'll take the one that comes with the body attached. Whoa, Counterspell and Dictor Time both wheeled. That's kind of wild. Very close pick. Dig is great. I think we'll be filling the graveyard quickly. We're not on the Brain Freeze plan anymore, and I'm happy I didn't take Lion's Eye Diamond. I think we're going to rely on just draw 7s for that, and I'll take the Counterspell. Close pick. Whoa, was not expecting to see Subtlety on the wheel, but that's great. Kind of perfect for this deck. Cheap interaction, it also does give us another way to close out the game. We're also kind of leaning on Creeping Tar Pit. I don't usually worry about having enough win conditions, but this is the kind of deck where that could be a problem, since like our combo, Narset plus Timetwister, doesn't actually win the game. It just like messes them up a lot. I guess Psychic Frog is a decent win condition as well. Detective's Phoenix, Time Warp, and Baleful Mastery. We did wheel the diamond. Not going to play it, though. I guess Detective's Phoenix isn't that good in a deck with a low curve. Time Warp seems okay, but I think it's just Baleful Mastery. Yeah, a little more removal never hurt anybody. Talisman of Dominance, not really what this deck is looking for. It might still be the pick. I don't think Metamorphose is that good. I guess it can help with the fixing, but I'll take the Talisman. Might want to bring this. I guess we could even potentially main deck it. There's the Oracle and Jace. So, okay, we actually have Oracle Jace. That's an interesting direction to go in certain matchups. Even the Larcenist is maybe playable. I think we're going to cut the Talisman and just play this with 17 lands. This gives us we have 3 tapped lands. That's not too bad. Okay, so heaviest blue, then red, then black, with decent drop-offs between all of those. 3, 2, 1 makes sense. Oh, wait, no. Okay, this gives us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blue. That's honestly more than we need. I think we don't need any swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For what's a pretty small splash. That's pretty good, though. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 red. We're sort of over-indexed on red, but again, like our red cards we care more about playing early. Our black cards are a little bit more late game cards. I'm trying to decide, like maybe we do want Talisman over Swamp. Yeah, we have a fairly low curve. And we don't need Swamp on turn 1 ever, so I'll try this. And then, yeah, we have an interesting sideboard plan that we can bring in certain matchups. It would have been nice to get Doomsday or Underworld Breach, but even without those, this is fine. So, yeah, we're playing, like, Grixis, Tempo, / Control. We do have the Narset combo. There's a chance we're not supposed to play Echo Vions, but I think it's good. And then we're trying to win with, like, efficient tempo creatures like Ragavan, Magda, Psychic Frog, backed up with a lot of cheap removal and counter magic. Seems like a pretty good formula, and I will see you in round 1. Alright, unfortunately we are on the draw for round 1, but we have a good hand. Turn 2 Magda on the play can be really nice. On the draw, a little less impressive, but we have some more defensive creatures as well if they come out swinging. We have all our colors. It's also just really nice to curve 2-drop creature into Kaito and start drawing cards immediately. Ooh. Sheldock Isle. That's probably a good sign. I would think we have a decent matchup against blue decks. Leading on turn 1 Creeping Tar Pit, of course, unless we find Ragavan. I don't hate that pickup. Against Sheldock Isle, it seems a little less good, but it's still generally important to have a cheap removal spell. Seacrum Coast. Okay, playing against blue-white. Mana Crypt. Ugh. That sucks. And to Displacer Kitten. Okay, don't care as much about that. The question is, do we want to just kill it immediately? It's a little less mana efficient. I'm kind of tempted to just go for end of turn dress down. I don't want to let them untap with this. Yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. Letting them untap with Mana Crypt plus Displacer Kitten just opens them up to having too much mana. So we'll do this, and then next turn we can probably go Chain Lightning their thing, plus play the Strix. Could also play Kaito, but I think that would be, it's better to get the Strix down. Opponent's really thinking hard about their coin flip here. I respect that. It is a little unfortunate we didn't get more draw 7 stuff. Like, very quickly we got Narset plus Timetwister, and then, or plus Echo, and then we found Timetwister and saw Time Spiral. So it was looking like we could really lean into that, but then we just didn't find Hole Breacher or Leavold or Bowmasters or anything like that. We passed Duelist of the Mind, which, like, I mean, would be insane. If I'd drawn Duelist of the Mind, you could almost just play that on turn 2 and then plan on hitting for like 10 on turn 3. Alright, all of their hard thoughts did pay off. They won their coin flip. Nice, just passing. That is, of course, what we want to see. Opponent playing a little slow. I don't think they've had many hard decisions yet this game. I mean, they definitely don't have any hard decisions in the beginning of combat phase. The way we're sequencing is going to make Magda a lot worse. This is, of course, much less powerful if you're playing it on turn 4 or 5. I think that's okay, though. I mean, we could have played it on turn 2 and let them untap with Kitten plus Mana Crypt, which isn't the worst, but it is kind of risky. I would prefer, I guess if I draw a red source, that would be nice, because we could go Chain Lightning plus Magda. I'd rather get the Magda down than the Strix this turn, but either one would be fine. Alright, opponent is slowly making their way through their turn. They decided to attack. Bold move. It is important to think about these things for several minutes. Okay, Baleful Mastery, interesting. Not the best, not the worst. Let's just play this Chain Lightning. There's an argument to letting it stick around. I mean, if they didn't have anything for 5 mana, it's not that likely this can go too crazy, but, you know, if you can kill their 4-drop for 1 mana, it's usually a good idea too. This doesn't do a ton yet, but if they find, like, Teferi, that's just an infinite combo. Looks like they might have a counterspell here. Mana Drain. Okay, sure. But yeah, this does go infinite with Teferi because they can go bounce Mana Crypt, play Mana Crypt, flicker Teferi. Teferi comes back with 4 counters, and you can bounce this again every time you net 1 mana and draw a card. Okay, so they're going to get 1 mana. If we were really worried about that, we could Baleful Mastery this, but I think it's pretty safe to just play the Strix. So we'll play the Strix and pass, and then having this Baleful Mastery does insulate us against a lot of the stuff they could do, but they do have 6 mana, and it's Vintage Cube, so anything can happen. Dak is an interesting draw. We could steal the Crypt. The problem with that is that they might just be able to, like if they lose the flips, we could just try to pressure them and kill them with it. Also, oh, they just, what? Okay, maybe they just had lands in hand. I don't know. That was weird. Okay, do we want to make any changes here? I'm tempted to bring in some of this stuff. I think I'll bring in the Jace just as an alternate win condition. Do we want all this removal? I mean, it's good against what we just saw. I don't think we probably don't need Dress Down, though. Brain Freeze is interesting. It's good with Jace. It also just could mill them out if they're playing a pretty slow controlling deck. The question is there anything that we want to cut? I definitely want the counter magic. I want all these threats. I want the Echo. This is good against... let's leave this in. We haven't seen that much of their deck. It's good against their Kitten, and then it also is good against, like, they could play Palace Jailer. They could play... they're playing white. There's a lot of creatures that this can deal with pretty efficiently. I'm just not going to play the Brain Freeze. We'll run it back. This is, like... It's easy to imagine a situation where it's good, but that's just such a late game thing. You really only want that against a hard control deck, and we don't know for sure that our opponent's deck is like that. Okay, I'll keep this hand. High power level with all our colors and interactive. We'll be saving the Thundering Falls for turn 4 probably. Alright, we'll keep this. Kind of a little rough. They've used 6 minutes, maybe used under 1, but that's alright. That's a great draw. Removal spell plus threat. We have Stern Scolding up, but a lot of things we could Scolding. We also might just want to Stomp. Like if they play Jace Vryn's Prodigy. If they pass, do we want to just jam the Strix? Sure. It's good if we find Kaito. If they counter this, it's fine. They don't have mana drain up. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing we could Stern Scolding here that would be really important, unless they. I guess they could with Mana Crypt if they go like Plains Mana Crypt Palace Jailer. Things could get pretty hairy, but I still think it's correct to play the Strix. Especially having drawn a 4-drop. Like, if we drew another land, we have plentiful mana. We don't need to really worry about mana efficiency. But here I do think, like, we got a lot of things to do with our mana. We want to be using all of them every turn. So opponent may be considering if they want to, like, miscalculation this. Or they might just be doing the Troy G11 thing. They are using the basic icon. So back in the day, this meant that they were a beginner, almost always, because you come in with this, and then eventually you realize you can change it, and you think that's cool, and then pick one out and change it. Then for a little while, at least I had one friend that was convinced that, like, people were reverse engineering that, and, like, pros were switching this to their icon so the opponent would think they were going to play poorly, and then they, like, get you. I really doubt that. I mean, my guess is almost no one even thinks about that, and then even the people that do would not, like, materially change their play because they think their opponent's new to the client. But, like, for a while, I think there might have been somewhat of a move back towards that. But now, like, you kind of rarely see the Birds of Paradise. And given that they've taken 6 minutes, it's almost definitely one of their first games on the client. And in their defense, the client is not the best. I definitely get why. You know, you come to all these stops. You have a stop on your damage step. You don't have any hotkeys set up yet. Like, I can kind of get it. But it is still a little frustrating to be on the other side of. Alright, opponent plays Basalt Monolith, which lines up pretty poorly against Kolaghan's Command. We're just going to untap and take our clean 2 for 1. It is a little awkward that we've drawn 2 of our 3 tapped lands, so we might not be able to play Jace on turn 3 or on turn 4, but with that being said, there's also a chance we wouldn't even want to. There we go. Now we do have Jace on turn 4, but still going to just fire this off. So discard a card, destroy target artifact. And we'll pass back, or hit for 1 and pass back. If we do resolve the Jace, we can decide if we want to be targeting ourselves or our opponent. It's kind of close. I think we can probably just target ourselves, though. We don't have, like, dig through time, that sort of thing, but it would be nice to mill over. Oh, sure. It would be nice to mill over Echo Vions, and I'm not really worried about milling myself because of the Echo Vions. There's some matchups where you play Jace and mill yourself a few times, and you're like, oh, I'm about to win with this. And then they just play Council's Judgment. Now you have 3 cards left and no win conditions. But if in that situation, now we'll have Echo Vions in the graveyard. So maybe we won't win, but we won't lose either. With that being said, if they just pass with mana up, I don't think I'm going to jam the Jace. Okay. Weird match. Not the best match, unfortunately, but I'll take the win, I guess. 1-0. See you in round 2. Alright, on the play for round 2 against Ariel Nagy, we have the old turn 1 Ragavan. The rest of the hand kind of sucks, honestly, but I'm going to keep it. If they kill this and then we draw 3 lands in a row, we're going to lose. Most hands have a worst case scenario where you lose, but we also might just hit their Ancestral Recall and then just pop off. One other note about Ragavan, it's not the biggest deal, but it is generally better the more colors you're playing. If we have Grixis, you know, we can cast almost any 3-drop on turn 2. Like, maybe not, like, well, yeah, I mean, we could play Nadu and Teferi and, like, Kolaghan's Command. I guess, obviously, Kolaghan's Command. I guess if we hit, like, a green-white, if we hit Knight of the Reliquary, we couldn't cast that, but other than that, that's good. And then something else I mentioned in one other video a little bit ago, Treasure token, in this case, treasure tokens aren't that good because we don't have that many spells and we have millions of lands. But I like a treasure token more in a blue deck or a deck that has instant speed interaction than in your average deck because, like, say you have Spell Pierce in your hand, there's a chance you hold it up for 5 turns in a row and never cast it. And so you essentially are not using a land 5 times. Instead of that, you can just have a treasure token and then essentially that treasure token gives you 5 mana. It lets you hold up Spell Pierce for 5 turns without needing to worry. Okay, this is like just brutal. As terrible as it is, I think I'm going to go for the Baleful Mastery. It's not a good plan at all, but like we're just never winning by just playing Drago against them and having literally no action. So I think we want to be attacking, like try to hit Mother of Runes or something. Steel Seraph, okay, we'll pass. I think this should be an okay matchup, but we're going to lose this game for sure. Just way too flooded. We're only playing 16 lands, but here we are, having already drawn 6 of them. And Ragavan's also not good in this matchup. Alright, this is going to be painful. I might honestly concede kind of soon. Do we want to make any changes for game 2? Kitesail Larcenist is an option. There's definitely a matchup where we want to draw a lot of our cheap burn spells. I wish we had a sweeper. We passed Delayed Blast, Fireball, and Fire Covenant, both of which would be really good. Okay, cracking the clue immediately is what we want to see. That's a sign of weakness. They sack their City of Traders. Dark Confidant. Okay, we have a plan. Creeping Tar Pit plus... Oh my god. Brutal. Creeping Tar Pit plus Dark Confidant could race. Put them to 15. Hopefully they flip something expensive that also doesn't do much, like Steel Seraph. No, Steel Seraph would actually be good for them because it would gain them life. Swamp is not what we want to see, of course. Best case would probably be something like Snuff Out. Like hit them for 4, and then it doesn't do that much. It can't kill the Tar Pit. Duress, got him. Two mana, hopefully just some like Dahlia or something. Caustic Bronco, okay, that's fine. They probably hit for 3, yep. We're just going to take it, of course. And I'm not going to attack with the Ragavan. I actually want them to have decent things to play. Oh, deck. Okay, I'm going to take a turn off of, Yeah, I'm going to take a turn off of this just to deck. Like, this is... It just literally draw 2 cards. Okay. Pass turn. Flip something expensive. Necromancy. That's, I guess, best case scenario. That sort of thing. So they're down at 12. We can give this flying and grow it 3 times. So we can hit them for 4, 5, 6, 7. Put them to 5. That seems pretty good. And that's if we draw a brick. We could draw something that makes it even better. Could also find some burn. Vindicate my frog. Okay. Not great, not terrible. It did save the Creeping Tar Pit. Sending both of these at Dak. They flip a swamp, that's annoying. I'm gonna let Dak die. I think I want to, I guess actually we could maybe block the Bronco, but I want them to have the Dark Confidant in play. Interesting. I think it's still better to go for the Tar Pit. It does mean we don't have hard cast Subtlety up, which is kind of annoying, but we can evoke Subtlety if we need to, and I think that the race is really a good plan here. I mean, they could just find Fatal Push or something, but... Man, it's annoying that they've hit 2 lands off of that. 3 lands. Yeah, out of 4 flips, they've only taken 3 damage. That is pretty unlucky. If we get to the point where we're about to die and we still have Timetwister in hand, we can fire it off and just hope to find multiple burn spells. They can Necromancy back our Psychic Frog if they want to. Not too worried about that. I mean, it's kind of a threat. They can make the frog pretty huge pretty quickly. This is a cool card. I think it's very well designed. It presents you with a lot of interesting decisions. It's not broken, but it is quite powerful. Just like yeah, they did a good job with this one. Okay, they do go for the necromancy. That's fine. Psychic Frog plus Timetwister is kind of a funny combo. Okay, so they're going to try to grow that to 3 power so they can crew their Bronco. So I think we want to trade Ragavan with Bronco here. I mean, Ragavan's not going to get better. And now they're never going to really be taking damage off the Bronco. We probably should have just blocked and saved our deck last turn. Tough and kind of frustrating game, obviously, to draw so many lands, but that is part of Magic. So they're playing... Okay, yeah, so they saddle this, go to combat, swing with everything. Interesting. Okay, I'll take that then. We might be able to actually hit them with the Ragavan. We take 4, then we take 8, or 7, which is a lot. And then if they play a blocker, we have subtlety for it. Then we get to hit them for 5. So, man, that's actually so frustrating. They hit in the 4 flips where they deal damage to us. There's combined 3 damage, and then they now have this. Yeah, I mean, if the order of these cards were flipped slightly, we could have won this game pretty quickly. We still have a chance if they flip another 4-drop or if we find a burn spell. But it probably is basically this turn or bust. Counterspell, basically dead draw. Hit for 5. Give me something good. Yet another land. Very frustrating. Like, yeah, again, there's been many, many times where they could flip something that helps us. They flip Night's Whisper and go to 2 and win the game. Alright, rough game for sure. Hopefully we can win the next one. We're going to be on the play, which helps a lot, of course. Do we want the Larcenist? I don't think so. Yeah, I think we can just run it back. Although on the play, it's sort of funny to bring in a land after that game, but I think I will do that. And then on the draw, we'll switch back when we get to game 3. Okay, I'll keep this hand. No turn 1 Ragavan, but that's okay. We have a lot of counter magic. And this is actually not really the matchup where you want all the counter magic, but still, definitely keep. Hopefully, we can go Strix into Kaito. Okay, Mother of Runes I might have countered, but that is, like, dazing and bouncing a tapped land is bad, but yeah, against that it's fine. Ooh, really hoping for a land. I guess I'm glad we brought one in. Nice. So we have Daze up, and we can return, like, this is not a bad spot to Daze, because we can Daze and then untap and hold up a counterspell. Tidehollow Sculler. I think that is worth a Daze. It's close, but they get to take the Kaito either way, so I just want, this way we get to make sure we, oh yeah, and we just keep the board clear. I'll accept this trade if they offer it, but yeah, definitely a good position for us. So we just play Island and pass. Baleful Strix, just a very, very good card in this matchup. And in general, frankly. This is another card that I think is really well designed. I actually think it almost feels overpowered in certain matchups or metagames, but here seems fine. Let's, do we want to counterspell or memory lapse? I think I'm going to memory lapse, actually. Yeah, close. I'm gonna count. Sorry, I thought in my head that I wanted to switch to counterspell because this is actually just like a very, very flexible card. The reason to save it would be because they can't kill the Kaito this turn either way. But I think that's like, it is just going to be good in this matchup. Kaito is going to present them with a huge problem if they can't deal with it well. So now we play Kaito, hit for 1, plus this to draw a card. Then Kaito flickers out. Kolaghan's Command is another good draw. Okay, I don't think Caracas is very good against us. They can hit us for 1 or 2. Either one's fine. If they have Palace Jailer, it's bad. Beatable, though. We can minus Kaito. The Wandering Emperor. Okay, that's fine. If they... Okay, they take out our thing. That's okay. Couple possibilities here. I think I'm going to minus this. Play this tapped and pass. Oh no, let's hold up. Let's hold up Baleful Mastery, I guess. So the problem here is if they plus the Kaito on the Figure of Destiny and we try to kill it. Actually, no, that would just work. We can just do that. We just need to do it in response. Leaving them with a figure with a Wandering Emperor, which we can deal with later. Aven Interrupter. Okay. That's not too bad. We're now just gonna use the Cold Guns command. I think I will chump block to keep this Kaito around. Dark Confidant. Okay, that is something we need to deal with. There's a lot of things we want to kill here, actually. So we could go Aven Interrupter to kill the... We could Baleful Mastery this. Let's start by looting, I guess, because we're going to be doing that either way. Good draw. We're constrained on black mana, though. Let's discard. Huh. So actually, I think I might just go... Yeah, we'll save the Baleful Mastery. Which one of these things do we want to kill? We can kill two things. I think, well, Bob and Wandering Emperor, I guess. Then we do leave them with these two, which we can hit one with Baleful Mastery next turn. I wish this could deal 2 damage twice. But okay, so let's go. Cold Guns command. Discard a card, 2 damage to any target. Then we'll go Infernal Grasp to kill this. Surveil. Then they can kill our Kaito, but they're top decking. We hit their Necromancy, which would have been a decent card for them. Okay, yeah, happy to see this. Weird that they tapped the Caracas, though. Seems like a slight misplay, but... into Baleful Strikes, or Blade Splasher. That's a little bit bad. So we lose the Kaito and take 2. This is a spot where, of course, having a Board Sweeper would be really good. Yeah, them top decking a good card there is definitely not what we wanted to see. Neither is that. Okay, this is not looking good. I guess we pass with Memory Lapse up, taking out their Figure of Destiny. I guess we're hoping they draw a white source. Try to turn the Figure of Destiny into a 4/4, and then we just kill it. But, like, the problem is we don't have cards that are, like, very good when we're this behind. Our deck is sort of predicated on being, like, at parity or ahead on board, like our cheap, like, Ragavan Magda cards. I guess we could just try to find, like, a draw 7. But we're getting low on life. Down to 9. Crack this. Ragavan is a total brick against the Caracas. Alright, we're pretty much just dead. I'll try dashing this and see if they don't realize they have this plan. Like, hopefully they just go for Solitude and we can kill it. Or a Memory Lapse at least. Okay, yeah, you got me. Tough game. Tough match all around. This has not been my favorite league. 2 games where they just took forever and did nothing, and then 2 games where we got crushed. But hopefully the finals are interesting. I'll see you there. Alright, on the draw for the finals against Big Lovely 1999. Playable hand. No 1-drop, but we can just get a Triome, and then we have a bunch of powerful 2s. Sort of clear. I mean, yeah, we have this if they curve out with 1 into 2. This if they just play 2-drop this big. Okay, well, we can kill that on turn 3, but that might be too slow. We'll see what they have. I do like that we have some interactive stuff. Another black-white deck. Don't love playing that matchup again, but it's fine. I think we just cast Magda here. pretty likely to get killed, or they play blocker or something. But if they do go for blocker, we might be able to just clear the path. Alright, happy to see no play end of turn. Worst case scenario would be like land Mind Twist for 4. Hopefully they play a threat though that we can kill. Elite Spellbinder is exactly the sort of thing we were hoping to see. We have 4 ways to kill it, so it really doesn't do anything. They probably take the Kolaghan's Command. Although if they take okay, they go for the Frog. Interesting. Alright, this makes me kind of think they have Mana Tithe, so what I'm going to do is attack first. So we can make the treasure. And then we're just going to try to kill both of their permanents. Destroy target artifact, 2 damage to any target. They have reprieve. Not that bad. It's not the best exchange, but we still, like, I mean, what did they trade? I'll take trading my 2-drop for their 3-drop. Okay, we just get our clean 2-for-1. Kolaghan's Command is so good. It's pretty much impossible for it not to be 2-for-1. In Vintage Cube, at least. I'll pass back. Nothing up this turn, but that's okay. This Frog costs 4, so it will be more of a late game play. But I guess if they do nothing, we will play it next turn. But we're set up to kill the next few things they do. Like, if they just play Adeline, that'd be great. That's also fine. I mean, it's a 2-for-2. That makes our 2-for-1 a little bit better. We're also on the draw. They take Chain Lightning. That's kind of surprising. Maybe that means they have a Planeswalker. Let's just cast the Frog. Mana Tithe. I guess we played around Mana Tithe last turn. Okay, they don't have it. That's good. Surveil. Would love to mill over a Echo Vions here. I think I'm going to graveyard that. There's an argument to keeping it. If I could hold it up this turn, I would keep it, but we already have 3 removal spells that are good against the sort of stuff that Stern Scolding is good against. I don't want to, like, just lose to them. They're playing, like, Planeswalkers or Artifacts or something, and we are just holding Stern Scolding in hand. Psychic Frog is very good against red removal. Obviously a little less good against black and white removal. So, you know, if they just have Path to Exile, we'll accept that our Frog gets killed. But if they play a creature, if their plan is to try to block this, then I really like our position. It's sort of funnily good against Toxic Deluge, too. Like, if they spend 3 mana and 5 life to kill this, it's not too bad. Okay, they have a Tidal Scholar, which is not scary at all. I don't even know what they're going to take with it. I feel like I probably would have gone for Arc Trail. So 2 damage here, 1 damage to your face. And then do we want to discard this Volcanic Island? I don't think so. We have draw 7s in our deck, so we actually can use the extra mana pretty well. We'll go to combat. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy to just hit them for 1 and draw a card here if that's what happens. In one of my first decks that I played way back in the day. Okay, yeah, just going to play land go. I think I had a card called Scroll Thief, which is 1 blue and 2 colorless, so 3 mana for a 1/3. Whenever it deals damage to a player, draw a card. And I thought it was so sick. Like, okay, yeah, sometimes they'll play a creature, but then you can unsummon their creature and attack and draw a card. Ooh. That sucks a lot, actually. It just neutralizes the game. No reason not to sacrifice this. Spell Pierce would be amazing, of course. Strix, okay. Then I'll just Burst Lightning their face. Don't think it really matters. I guess if we daze now, well, we'll just bring back this. Okay, so that undoes all of our advantage. Balance is a pretty good card when you're behind, of course. So we'll play the Strix, and then the question is, do we want to play Island to hold up Infernal Grasp? Yeah, I'll definitely hold up Hardcast Days. Although, actually, I might just return the Thundering Falls for the Surveil. Yeah, I think that's actually probably better if we do end up going for the days. Alright. They may be holding up Wandering Emperor. That was a great draw. Kaito. Yeah, that was actually maybe the best draw. Yeah, let's daze this for sure. And I will return this. Now we actually have uses for our mana. Before I was worried we would have no action, but we have plenty of action now, so I do want to be able to cast my spells. Do we want to hold... Yeah, I'll play Island to hold up Infernal Grasp, and that way we can try to go, Infernal Grasp their creature, and then hold up Subtlety for the next thing. Okay, I think... Yeah, I will cast this here. If I didn't have the Subtlety, I would maybe not, but... It's just so mana efficient. Ooh. I'm not going to dash. I think holding up Subtlety is better. We're already ahead enough on board that we don't need to try to spike something off of their deck. Kaito putting in some very good work here. If we draw untapped land, okay, I'm definitely happy to just cast Ragavan. You don't need to dash it every time. And then we'll pass. So what are we afraid of here? I mean, I guess Toxic Deluge stabilizes the board a little, but not even, because we just go end of turn, cast Subtlety, Kaito keeps going. I think it would really be Island, Fractured Identity, or Kaito minus and have a blocker for the Ragavan. Okay, I'm not going to just jam Subtlety here. Alright. These games have been weird. Every single game this league has not really been very close. I guess the one where they had the Dark Confidant was close, but it was not close in a fun way. We were just had no interesting decisions to make. We were just hoping to get lucky, or even average, and instead we just got really unlucky. Not the most fun way to do it, but yeah, we sort of steamroll our opponent in game 2, just like they steamrolled us in game 1. It should be a solid matchup, frankly. I mean, they don't line up that well against our deck. We have a lot of removal that does line up well against their deck. Obviously, if they're in the play with a Soul Ring, a good Soul Ring draw, it could be tough. We should also play with balance in mind. Definitely want this with balance in mind. I would play this if I could. The Larcenist is kind of interesting. Maybe we just cut the draw 7 stuff, actually. Well, yeah, I don't think that actually seems very good. Jace is pretty slow, though. Weirdly, the Thassa's Oracle just has a blocker. But they're not that aggressive. Could, of course, also play 17th land. How many ways do we have to discard the Echo? Not many. Kaito, Dak, kind of Kolaghan's Command, Psychic Frog. Maybe that's... I'll play the Echo. Well, Timetwister, not necessary, especially on the draw against a deck that's curving out. It just doesn't seem that good. Echo Vions is also good against their balances. Yeah, that seems solid. Alright, I'll keep this hand. Library of Alexandria. Definitely happy to have Echo Vions against that. It's an interesting one. I think I'm kind of happy if they're on the library plan, and then they're just going to be pretty slow. Maybe I'm underestimating their ability to outgrind us. They do have a lot of one for one interaction, which is good against or good with library. I think I'm just gonna play Strix here. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so that can loot away the Echo. They pass. Weird. Okay, I'm just going to play Dak then. If they have Orcish Bowmasters, it is bad. That'd be quite bad. Nice. Okay, definitely discarding the Echo. Also discarding... So we have a lot of... I guess we could discard the Magda. Yeah, Magda doesn't seem that good here. We play it on turn 4. Best case scenario, we're attacking on turn 5. They're also going to have the ground pretty clogged. I'll leave this back to block. I don't care that much about 1 damage. We can't really block that effectively if they play like Cathar Commando, but just holding even back their giver is solid. They draw straight to H. If they don't have... Okay, if they didn't have land, that'd be hilarious, but they do, so we'll see what they can do with this. Vindicate my Dak. Not too worried about that. I mean, it's not great. They also forgot the library. Playing a little sloppy over there. It's okay. Let's just... I think I'm just going to go for the Arc Trail here. 2 damage, 1 damage. Pass with Spell Pierce / Burst Lightning up. But yeah, having Echo of Eons in the graveyard makes me a lot less worried about getting outvalued by library. Inquisition. Alright, don't love that. Among other things, they get to know about the Spell Pierce. They take the Larcenist. That's interesting. Unlikely Spell Pierce will be very good. If we top deck a land, we'll probably just hit with the Tar Pit. Start hitting for 4, make them do something into our interaction. Very interactive hand, of course. That's sort of the Grixis way. Alright. Kaito would be a good draw. Island, okay draw. Creeping Tar Pit is like a funnily good win condition. It's the sort of thing where the earlier you start, the more of a real thing it is. Like, this forces them to, like, we don't have to go in on it, but if we do, they have to respect it. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, that's annoying. We need to kill that. I'm just gonna Burst Lightning this now. There's also an argument to using Chain Lightning because we can afford to do it at sorcery speed, but Chain Lightning being 3 damage is pretty relevant. It takes a turn off of our Tar Pit clock. We don't have Spell Pierce up this turn, so they could resolve some scary Planeswalker. I think it's still right to just kill the Bowmasters, though we really need that off the table if Echo of Eons is a part of our game plan, which it likely will be. Okay, Lingering Souls. It's not great without us having a clean way. I mean, like, Arc Trail kind of deals with it cleanly, but not that well. Do we just try to race? Maybe. Especially if we draw another burn spell. Steam Vent, okay. So, animate. And I'm just going to play this tapped. I'm not going to Chain Lightning their face. I think there's a decent chance we end up doing that play at some point this game. But for now, we're just going to pass. So you can put them to 6 next turn. It's too bad that Arc Trail and Burst Lightning are both gone. Do we have more burn in the deck? We have Stomp. Unfortunately, Stomp doesn't do damage in a multiple of 3. So we take 3 down to 13. Then if they flash back the souls, we will Spell Pierce it. Their deck seems pretty sweet, honestly. I like their build. I don't think it's necessarily the best style of deck, but it's definitely a fun one. Memory lapse. Okay, I think we're just gonna lose this game, frankly. But let's animate. Hit for 3, and I will just chain lightning their. Well, okay. How much damage do they have? 3, 6. So, I mean, yeah, they can kill us in 2 attacks. I think we just need to hope to get really lucky. If they had 1 less life, it would make us have a lot more outs. We might end up in a position where we have to hope to flashback Echo into drawing a ton of burn, but not having enough mana to go for the tar pit. Still in the library, that's kind of funny. But yeah, I don't think we have any 3 damage burn spells left in the deck, unfortunately. Burst Lightning, Chain Lightning, Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, we have a bunch of 2 damage burn spells, but not that many 3s. We could also try to survive another turn if they don't go for leveling this up, but they do. So taking 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, I think we just have to get really lucky here. As in, flashback Echo and draw 3 burn spells. That is almost definitely not going to happen. I flashback Echo, then draw Arc Trail, Burst Lightning, and Stomp. We don't even have enough mana for that. Yeah, I think we're just dead. But if there's an out, it starts with flashing this back. Dead. All right. Well, a little bit of a tough league there. Definitely not the best result. The one that we won is not particularly. Oh wait, that was game 2. Oh, all right. Let's win game 3 then. Let's get the 2-1. Securing the winning record would be a satisfying conclusion. Do we want to play any of this stuff? Against the Bowmasters, this just doesn't seem like a good plan. But Bowmasters also just good against our deck. I'll keep it. We can just play with the fact that they have Bowmasters in mind. Or, actually, no. I wish I brought in the Swamp. I wish I brought in the Swamp over Echo Vions. We'll see what ends up happening. Okay, very good hand. I like the way we have the Strix. We're going to play turn 2 Magda. We have all of our mana. This Fiery Islet's come up a lot, and it's not the best matchup for it. Our life total is kind of relevant, but I do still think it's worth playing. Alright. Well, I will say, we lost a turn 1 Soul Ring game 1. Then we beat turn 1 Soul Ring in game 2. Soul Ring into... Oh, Jite. Okay, that's a little less bad. I mean, it's not good. Especially when they have so much mana to equip it. This card kind of sucks if you are just, like, spending your entire second turn playing it, entire third turn equipping it. But with the Soul Ring just making infinite colored mana, not infinite, but lots, it is a little worse. But we do also have a removal spell, so if they play a creature, we might be able to clear the path. Like if they just go 2-drop, equip the Jite. I guess if they go Skull or equip Jite, it's annoying. Taking our Infernal Grasp. Okay, that's fine. 2 for 2. And a Sentinel. Alright. Narset is an interesting draw. I think I would still rather get the Strix down first, though, to defend. It is a little more mana inefficient, but the problem is if we let them connect with the Jite, the Strix is basically worthless, whereas now it will trade with one of their creatures or a removal spell. Like, this is a fine exchange. They get their Jite counters. Oh, they could also wait a turn. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, that is probably going to be unbeatable. Oh. Poorly done there. We needed to play land first. But I don't think we could beat these cards either way, which is sort of sad to say, but it's true. They're, like, our removal's all turned off. We do find a burst lightning. So maybe there's a chance. Kill Mother of Runes, pass turn. So now, I mean, yeah, this is going to be a tough one to win. Maybe not, though. They don't have that fast of a clock. If we can find, like, Kolagon's Command, I like our chances a lot more. Okay, so they just give that pro blue. Hit the Narset for 1. We're going to lose the Narset when we minus, but that's okay. They're going to get to kill our Strix, and we're going to lose our Narset, but I guess the Giver of Runes being tapped isn't that relevant. Take a draw step. Oh my god. Alright. Worst possible for us. That feels bad. Are we just dead? I mean, maybe. That's not it. I hope we whiff and then concede. Would be maybe a fitting end. There's Dak. Okay, that's just kind of interesting because we can steal their thing. Actually, no, there's just no path to, I'm gonna, like, with Mother of Runes and Giver of Runes, there's no way for us to ever win. We don't have, like, Shieldred combo stuff to win. We need to win with just, like, creatures. Like, Psychic Frog is never getting through there. That's just, like, a lost cause. Not a good league. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. None of the games were particularly interesting. I think the deck was sweet. I mean, we never really did it, but, like, turn 1, like, Ragavan, and turn 2, like, Chain Lightning your thing, like, attack, hold up, spell, like, counter spell, maybe with, like, a Daze in there. Then you have the, like, Narset Echo thing, like, this Psychic Frog, too. Like, really sweet potential, but it was just, like, ended up being pretty rough games, and almost all of them. Even the ones we won were, like, generally not great. That is what it is. You can't win them all, I guess. And even the ones you win can't maybe all be fun. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.